question is, why do we follow people? Like, things like idols and celebrities.
I'll start that off. I feel like people do that because, again, as we were talking about at the previous topic, they don't have the vision in terms of like, okay, or maybe they do have the vision. They don't have I don't even know how to say it. They don't have the go after it kind of spirit where they just like, hey, like I want this and I'm just gonna go make it happen kind of thing. You know what I mean? I feel like people just go, they look at somebody and they go, man, like the blueprint of this person, I think I'm just gonna maybe try to follow it instead of trying to create their own path. In my opinion, I think, you know.
Okay. No, I agree with that. I think too with following, it's like, but we have to understand, like, imagine the world with just leaders. Somebody's gonna have to follow somebody, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I never, like, you know when someone knows what, like, someone did today? Like, oh, did you hear da-da-da? I was like, nah, I really,
right,
I
me too.
don't care.
I'm like that.
Yo,
I don't give a damn.
No,
I feel you on that. I don't give a damn.
Me giving that my energy takes it away from something else that actually matters.
Right.
Like, and not to hate on anyone who loves sports and stuff, but like some people can sit and tell you the stats of everything, but they couldn't tell me how much money they made last month.
That's true.
Or where their expenses went to.
That's true.
You can manage your fantasy team, but you can't manage your finances.
Facts. That's a good point.
Like follow yourself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think the energy part of following someone's life who does, like, if they see me on the street. If Kanye saw me on the street, he would not stop for me.
No. That's a fact.
Who am I? You
That's
know?
a fact.
So it's like, why? Yeah, you know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like people, their drive isn't there, so they follow other people. And we live in a world now where, think about Instagram, think about Facebook. Like, it's all about following. And to your point, I think, I personally, and I'm sure you guys, I don't give a damn what somebody's doing. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? Like, if we're not gonna sit down like this and politic and do something together, like, don't waste my time with telling me you're making videos and you're at the club. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, you know what I mean? That's just me. You know.
I think it's it's a weird one. It's a weird one because it's like the path of going through. It's like somebody used an analogy a long time ago. They're like, okay, if it's a snowstorm right now, right? And I walk to that corner store over there, right? If I walk to that corner store and I come back and I tell you to go, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go with the same footsteps
Good point, yeah.
that I went through.
Right.
Because it's what? It's easier.
Yeah.
The thing about, especially about being a boss or somebody being in a position, I think being an entrepreneur, and big difference. There's a difference between being an entrepreneur and a business owner.
That's good too, Gems.
Because a business owner is somebody that has a system created and they're following the system and just trying to do the system as well as possible.
Right.
Like being a franchise owner for McDonald's is being a business owner. There's a system that's created. You just got to follow the system.
Right.
But then there's being an entrepreneur for a product that doesn't exist. An Instagram, per se, when it first got started. There is no formula on how to do that.
Right.
Like, they're figuring shit out as they went.
You're figuring shit out as it goes.
True.
And it takes a specific type of person who says, you know what? I am not afraid to fail.
Yeah.
That's going to be able to do that. But think about that. You eliminate 99% of people. Because most people say, you know what? I'd rather have some form of security knowing that I'm doing something that somebody's done, or I could follow some footsteps than being the first person.
Very true.
It's very, very rare where somebody says, you know what, I want to pioneer something and be the first one and take all the hits.
So I was going to ask you, so what would you guys say in regards to that characteristic? How do you find that characteristic? How do you build that characteristic? Because obviously we want to give knowledge. Like, how do you go, you know what, like you said, like, I want to be the first to start this company. And without worrying about, like, I know people are going to talk shit about me if I fail. And that's what people are afraid of. Because that's what it comes down to. People are just worried about taking a step to do something because they're afraid what people are going to say after. Because they're going to say, yo, you're an idiot. That's not going to work. And then as soon as you hear that enough times, in your mind, you believe it, right? And you stop doing something, you know?
Honestly, great. Yo, that's a great.
My guys, I am.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Because
juice,
yo,
bro.
honestly, there's two types of people in that scenario. You have to understand, and I know this might sound harsh and it might sound shitty,
Talk to us.
but people are born with that.
Hey,
It's not for everybody. It's not for the weak at heart.
hey, that's why this is important.
You don't get drive from Walmart. You can't buy it.
Facts.
No.
It's just either you have it
Or you don't.
Or you don't. There's two things that you can regret in life, and you have to choose which one bothers you the most. Either you regret failure or you regret regret.
Facts.
If you are somebody that says, you know what, I hate regret more than I hate failure, you're gonna take failure every single time and you're gonna make the mistakes.
Right.
But if you're somebody who's so afraid of failure, then you're going to experience regret.
Facts.
There's no way around that.
That's crazy.
There's just
yeah.
no way around that. But the problem is a lot of people are not thinking about what regret brings. Because it's a long-term feeling.
Not to mention, what regret brings is it brings a lot of like resentment to others.
Woo.
You want to stop others from doing other things. You want to stop others from getting to their goals because you go, it didn't work for me. I don't want it to work for you. Like not at all. Like, and they don't even realize it just comes out. You know what I'm saying?
What you said is true, but I think there's even a more dangerous side when that person, out of love, tries to prevent you from doing something because they feel that it. Our parents, for instance, maybe you have a parent who tried not going to school to be a lawyer or an engineer. They actually want to start a business back in the day, back in the the 70s, and they failed at it. So please don't
do it. Right.
I love you. Don't do it.
Right.
So they're coming from a good place, and I think that's kind of tricky sometimes too. So we follow the advice of people we love because we know they're coming from a place of love. But
So how do you block that out?
I don't think you should block it out. I think you should take it, receive it for what it is, but ultimately have your own say. Ask yourself, am I my dad? Am I my mom?
True.
Like, okay, mom, you sucked at this because you couldn't speak English, but I can speak English.
Yeah.
So I might not be, I might not fail it.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, take it in because you have to understand there's always gems in everything that we receive.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you got to make your own decision because that regret, you can't go back in time. Like, you can't go back and fix something that you never did.
Yeah.
And that what if?
And I think that's a good point about the regret because I feel like what happens is you literally listen to so many people, you take in so much information, and you're like, oh man, like maybe they are right, and then you start the self-doubt thing. But I think you have to try to stay grounded in what you're doing, and you got to now surround yourself around people that are doing something because that's the only way you can go.
100%.
I can continue to move forward. And you're right. You take the positive from your parents or people that even around you sometimes are trying to be positive and giving you that feedback, but it's like. You still got to find other people that are doing that, and you have the same wavelength. You know what I mean?
I read somewhere that the will to do something stems from the belief that it can be done.
Yeah.
If you don't know it can be done, you won't even try to do it. So you have to like plug in with someone who's actually doing it.
That's true.
Or you're gonna try it on your own. It's gonna get hard, and you're gonna quit.
Yeah.
But if you're like you have a mentor or someone who's doing it, who you're in communication with, and you might suck at it now, but you say like he or she's killing it. It can be done. It's gonna spur the desire to actually pursue it when things get hard.
Right.
This is why we say people are born with that. Because it's literally the 1% of person that could not have a mentor, not have associations, not have whatever, and still get to that high level.
For sure.
Fact.
But
Like it's
is
rare. That number is like 0.01.
Which is why they call them the 1%ers. And you know what I realized? We've all heard the saying, it's lonely at the top. Because when you get there, there's not a lot of people like that. Like you said. So now when you're being a visionary and you're thinking all these things, and you're telling people, and they're talking to you like, oh, bro, you have too many ideas. Like, you're crazy.